Hello, 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 good people. Hello. Oh, well, we're here to talk about the hot topic that is Wendy Williams. And just now, I was just looking at my phone and happened to see on Facebook, even his name Harvey Levin, even has made a video about Wendy Williams. I just want you to hear this real quickly, and I'm pretty sure you can hear it.
11 from TMZ. I just spent an hour and a half on the phone with Wendy Williams. And I can tell you that the Wendy Williams I spoke to today is the same Wendy Williams that I knew 10 years ago. There was no difference. She was lucid. She was articulate. She was with it. And she was opinionated. I'm not going to get into the specifics because it was an off-the-record conversation. But she wants me to give my evaluation of what I heard. Charlemagne the God was on the phone call as well. And my impressions were precisely what Charlemagne has already said, that Wendy Williams seemed like she could have done her radio show today. There was no lapse in her judgment. There was no hesitation in what she was saying. And I'm not a doctor, but I am alarmed that Wendy Williams has had her freedom taken away from her. And I don't understand exactly why. Wendy doesn't have access to a cell phone in the sense that people cannot call her. If a call is made, it has to be from her out. She doesn't have a laptop. She can't come and go, according to her. And that makes sense because we really haven't seen her out with the exception of her son's graduation. And I have a strong opinion about what may have happened here because...
So, we got it from the other kind of person. You know, Wendy is trying to get people out there to hear her story. And, you know, I said, I want to do my part because when it first happened, it was just so shocking that someone could take over someone else's life like that without them consenting, without her being a harm to herself, really, and without her family's blessing. You know, I think that this is a money scheme. That's all it sounds like. It's a money scheme that, because most people, you know, I've been in nursing homes before to visit people. My uncle goes because his wife, he goes like when his wife wants to go and maybe go out of town. My uncle has MS, and it's so far it is it's made him bedridden, and he can't even use his hands anymore. So he can, you know, he talks and, you know, but anything else he can't do. You know, he's just, you know, just the head, you know, his head, you know, he could talk. I don't think he can really support his head anymore. It's sad because he's like the big, strong uncle, the hard working man, a good man, honey, a good man, Savannah, a good man here. She got her a good man. And to see him like that, and he's, my mom is 69, maybe he's 60, I don't know, 66, 64, 5, somewhere in there. But he's been total bedbound maybe a year, something, maybe 2 years. Okay. So also, with that being said, I have an elderly father. My dad is 70. Look, I'm trying to hide my gray. You can see it, gray is popping. But my dad is 72. And he still lives at home. And if we're going by say Wendy is the bar of people who that shouldn't be by themselves. A lot of us shouldn't be by ourselves then. And my daddy would be one. But he's 72. He still lives at home. I usually go over there each night. Tonight I didn't make it over there, but usually he has an aide during the day that comes. Um, he gets only 4 hours of service a day. So, and excuse me, his service is only for companionship. They don't do it like, they remind him to do things. Usually, they'll prepare food for him or something if he's on. But usually when they there, he sleep because my daddy stay up all night long. So and they get there, honey, he sleeps. Sometimes he used to tell him just go home. So usually, they kind of do a little light housekeeping because his biggest issue is kind of ambulatory. He uses a cane or a walker. So either one. But my dad, think he young, honey. He's still out there. Look, I mean, not as much, but I did make sure he have his cigarettes. Every once in a while, he wants to smoke the wacky tobacco, and a lot. And then every so often, he don't drink as much as he used to, but he'll ask me to buy him a 6-pack of beer. And a 6-pack of beer now lasts him maybe 2 weeks now. Where before, 6-pack of beer ain't lasting too many guys that long. They're watching the game, that's done. So, so dealing with him, and anytime they have like different people come out to assess him, I'm there. And I always tell him, because y'all said, Dad, they're going to try to put you in a nursing home, right? So then he'll get the act right together. He'll get it together. Because sometimes he'll give me such a hard time. Because I'm the oldest child. He'll give me a hard time. So when I see this whole scenario going on with Wendy, I'm like, dang. Because I was telling my dad about it yesterday. And I go, this is really messed up. And I remember instantly, I started thinking about the movie I Care on Netflix. And it's a movie about how the people in the courts, the judge, the doctor, and the the state attorneys or whomever, the prosecutors or whatever, they're all working in cahoots. They find these rich people that first of all, they go to maybe to their doctor's appointment, an annual doctor appointment. And they find a rich person that they think are pretty much alone. So they'll find them pretty much alone. And then what they'll do is make like they signed some kind of papers. And the first thing they do is take their home away from them. So the home is taken. And then next thing they're moving them the day their home is getting taken, or they're moving them out. They're going to put them in a nursing home. But what they did was in the movie, they were drugging these people, i.e., Wendy said they have 7 pills for her to take. They were drugging these people, but they were keeping the people sedated so that you thought something was wrong with them. So the woman that they did it to, because they had this little scheme going, but the woman they did it to, her son was in some kind of mob. So it looked like she had a bunch of money, but that was not her money. That was the mob money. It was the German mob or the Russian mob, something like that. And honey, it was hell to pay when they took his mama. Because the woman, she tried to fight back in the place. And because, she was one of them savvy old ladies too, because, her son, in the breaking the laws or whatever. So I think she might have had a little bit of that in her too. But it was a good movie. But my mom, second to the youngest brother, had told them about this movie. And so when they watched it, my mom was telling me, I watched this really good movie. I'm like, But it's called I Care and it's on Netflix. It's a pretty good movie. But it puts you into thinking, oh, so it was the woman at the bank, Wells Fargo. that decided that this rich kid was spending too much money. And let's think about it. Rich people do things differently than us regular folk do. So the rich kid was spending money. And then I think, what else was little Kevin doing? I think he was getting an apartment. Whatever he was doing, this is the life he only knows, I mean, it's just like my kids kind of grew up in the suburbs. So they only know like suburban life, So, I mean, like not like we rich, but they don't know project life or anything like that. So, look, my phone ringing. Is this my daddy calling me? Let me think. No. But anyway, so I was thinking about like, okay, with all this going on, and they had the people from the bank start at her because of the son spending too much money. And they said something about, he spent in a year $100,000 in Uber Eats. What is $100,000 to a multi-millionaire? And I ain't talking about low millions. She's not a low millionaire, So what they said in 2022 or something, she had $57 million in the bank. So what is 100,000? Really? He's not eating at Burger King and Subway. Like, he's eating, and they live in Miami. He's eating good food. And it's probably food for him and his mom, whoever in the house or whatever. That kind of stuff. So maybe each time they're eating, maybe $400 or $500, or more. However it was. That's the lifestyle he only knows. So I feel like I would rather her son spend her money with her blessing than some white woman that nobody knows Sabrina. Nobody knows this woman. She doesn't care about her. And anytime a person that has dementia, you would think it'd be best for them to be in surroundings or settings when they're around their family. Not, as Wendy Williams has stated, because I listened to all three of the interviews. And she says, in her interview with Charmaine, Lord, let me get his name right. Charmaine, Shalimar. God said Shalimar. What the heck is his name? The guy from the Breakfast Club. What is his name? Something the God. I forgot. But with him, and even the one she did with Don Lemon, and even Jason Lee, she stated in all of them that she feels like a prisoner. Now, a person who has dementia, I know, like some of the people I know that work in that field, they do have locked floors for people with dementia, but they're allowed to have visitors. They're allowed to have things. A cousin of mine worked at a facility on a locked floor, and there was a man up there still RN people. Yes. So he knows. I was like, really? We got dementia for real? He know that he wanted. But anyways, so my thing is, she's not allowed to have, as you heard Harvey Levin say, that she cannot have a cell phone. Sabrina has confiscated her cell phone, her laptop or iPad. She can't be on the internet. So she's in some kind of prison. This is even, and I know a lot of people have been in prison. It's like she has no freedom and she has committed no crime. She can't go, come about as she please. I really don't understand it. And I was listening when her documentary first came out, and I like being on YouTube. This is why I ended up getting a YouTube channel, because I watch YouTube all day. Basically, I like what I said. I think I could do what they do a little bit. I don't know. I could try, but I was watching Jamie That's Me, and she did a kind of deep dive on guardianship, conservatives. Because what is it called? I'm calling it conservative, but it's conservationships. And you talked about Britney Spears, but then we got to talk about normal everyday people. And one person she didn't mention, I don't remember the name, but I think he was someone who maybe won did he win a lawsuit or a lottery or something like that? I know he got hurt on the job, so maybe a lawsuit. But the man went back to work. And he was still under his conservatorship. He was still under his conservatorship when he went back to work. Just like Britney Spears. She had a whole dang on residency in Las Vegas, but yet she could not make financial decisions. And then people always be saying, "Oh, I can see why she was on. Look how she acted." No, she's like a kid who could never do nothing, so she couldn't. I don't think they let her be on social media, so she on there. We see people all day, regular people on social media doing the biggest fuck shit ever, doing stuff, just wilding out. So because she's Britney Spears, she can't do it. Let her do it. She's not, as long as she ain't hurting herself or anybody else, have at it, sister. She's just a rich person with some money, and she's famous, right? A famous person with money. But so then I even heard a tale, I don't know how true it was, I should have looked it up. But even I heard that Sharon Stone at one time was under a conservatorship, and allegedly they took like millions of dollars from her. I heard to the tune of 30 million. Because maybe she had some kind of stroke. How can they legally take your money? So, in New York, they call it guardianship. And they said there's over 20,000 people in this type of deal. And I think this is something similar to what happened to my aunt, my dad's older sister, whereas she ended up becoming a ward to the state in her old age. Lord have mercy, this is my daughter. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. It's my daughter. We've had a fits with my grandson's math problems today, so. Can't say a lot. So, but anyways, as I was stating about the guardianship that she's under, and I should have wrote down where I was at. She is bad, but don't put me under one. But her conservatorship, I can't remember. See how kids call and just mess up your whole. Got me over here trying to do some math problems. Well, We talked about Sharon Stone. And we talked about I hate this. This is where that old age be popping in on me. So anyways, how could someone just take over her? So she said, let me go on to what she said. She says she feels like she's in prison. She wants to talk to normal people. And the fact that, because she has dementia supposedly, because most people with dementia don't remember things, right? Why can't she have her family members call her? What kind of scheme are they setting up? Since when do you lock someone away like she's in the hole? You know, we supposed to be in prison. How in the hole? And they can't call. And at first, when we first seen the documentary, we didn't know. After at the end of the documentary, they talked with her sister. At that time, Wendy was actually locked, put up somewhere, and the family didn't know. How does the guardian get to do this? Have free reign over her? So here's some of the statements that Wendy Williams said. Wendy Williams said she is not incapacitated. I'm sorry, I'm chewing candy. And you guys need to look up the word so you know what the meaning of it is. And she said that is not her. Let me put my glasses back on. Lord Jesus. I can't read my own handwriting. She says the guardian is spending her money hand over fist, and she don't have a receipt or shit giving any kind of accounting of what's going on. That's what Wendy Williams said. She said when she went to go to Miami for her son's graduation, she said they got a guardian from Florida. Now, this is on the Jason Lee's interview. They got a guardian from Florida to fly to New York to meet her, then to travel with her to Florida. All on Wendy Williams' dime. Then they said the whole time that she was in Florida, she was being watched by the people. The family couldn't have conversations with her only. They were being monitored at all times, to make sure she didn't say nothing that would be out of line. And she was down there, she said, 9 days. And she said, and she don't believe that Sabrina liked it. That she had a good time. And then the time where we see her going off on some of the guardian person that was there, because about her motor scooter thing, she was stating that they parked the car across the street. Her being a celebrity, she's not supposed to come out of wherever she's at, whatever venue or restaurant, and have to walk across the street to the car. You're supposed to park on the same side of the street to make it easy, especially for a person who needs, having a little issues with their legs because she got lymphedema. So that's what she was cussing and mad. And plus, she's paying them. And I always say, follow the money. If Wendy Williams had no money, they would not give two talks about her. They wouldn't care. She'd be just some poor black chick on the street. Because who's the guy that played in the NBA? Delonte West or something like that? Last I knew, he was homeless on the street. No one was checking to make sure he had a conservator over him. Because I'm like, it's her money. She made that money. It wasn't given to her. She made the money. So if she chooses, I feel like, to burn it up in a barrel, it's her business. As long as she's not hurting anyone, is what I don't. Because there's many of people who were rich, they're stars, even. Cause what they call, what's the white boy name? I think he's white. I'm not sure. I think what name? Used to do all the beats. Scotty Storch, whatever. And he said how I think they act like he don't have that much money. And all the money he made, I'm not gonna say he's broke because I don't know that for a fact, but I think he's the piano guy. Oh, they call him piano. I don't know, but he did a lot of people beats in the, I'm gonna say 90s, early 2000s, and he blew like his whole fortune. He was allowed to do that. He made that money, and I'm not understanding, because honey, if all of her money was to disappear today, they would throw her out of the facility tomorrow. She wouldn't be there at all. Not at all. Not at all. She would not be there. They wouldn't care. It would just be, oh, go ahead, woman. Go ahead with that, So then she also states that, so she bought her son a car for his graduation. She had to get permission. When she said, I got the funds, I made the funds, but I got to get permission to buy my child a car for graduating from college. She said, whether I choose whatever kind of car she chooses to buy him, a Bugatti or whatever, she has the money the funds for that. And that's her only kid. But she had to get an approval. And then she kept saying about money, that her money was in prison too. And she only had $15 on her in her designer. I don't got that kind of money. Whatever kind of dang on designer purse she got. Her mids. I ain't got one. So then they also had stated, going back to the Breakfast Club interview, that the lady from the Breakfast Club, not Jess with the mess, the other girl that does the kind of political stuff and all that, the serious things. She went to go visit Wendy. I don't know if it was the day before, or a couple days before, or whatever. She tried to go to the facility that Wendy's at. And the whole time Wendy was on the phone with her. And so the girl goes to the front desk, to get allowed to go in. And they're doing the job up there trying to see. But then whoever comes has to go through Sabrina. So they were trying to call Sabrina, whatever. Then from out of nowhere, some men come out and told the girl, there's no Wendy, or they don't know Wendy, and no Sabrina, and there's no Wendy there. So I'm wondering how much money that facility is making off of her. My dad wasn't in assisted living. Got kicked out. He was in there. He was in there from 2019 to 2020. He was not there a whole week when he went to jail. From there, I'm like, what? And my dad, he went into the assisted living because he had a studio apartment. It was really set up nice with a big bathroom. I mean, it was a nice space. And my dad, he's a friendly guy. He pretty much he knows a lot of people. But when he first went there and he looked, he was like, I'm making noise with with my mouth. So let's chew this candy up real quick. But when he first went, he was like, people in there old. And the first night he stayed, he said, I feel like y'all putting me out the pasture. So my dad, he would walk around the facility in the back because you had to smoke outside. So he'd walk around at night and smoke his weed out there. Or either get to walking down the street, Now, usually the doors are open during the day, unlocked. But at night, you had to have your key fob on to get in. So it would unlock or whatever. So they can do what, move around, do as much as they wanted to do. So he was there and he was going to smoke one day. And it was a guy who was in a wheelchair. Now, my dad, he was using a cane. And the guy was in the wheelchair. I called him a nigga. My dad said he called him a nigga and he stood up. My dad said he stood up and he was walking better than me. So my dad was like, he got in his face. My dad said, I know what he's going to do. So my dad stole on him. And some of the girls who worked there knew me because I used to do people taxes. They called me up and said, girl, they done took your daddy to jail. I'm like, for what? I'm like, this Negro. Well, and I'm like, so then he was so mad because they made him walk to the place, the Bill's Bondsman place. That's where I had to meet him at. I didn't know where he was at. And he had to walk down there without his cane. And at this time, he would use a cane because he said he always seemed like he was dizzy. And I was trying to figure out what was wrong with him. Because one day he was normal. And then I noticed he was like, when he was walking, he'd be holding on to the walls or whatever. I'm like, well, I just feel dizzy. Then as progressively, he walks slow. And I go, what's going on today? He said, I just feel like I'm in cement. He said, so when I smoke weed, it helps. I'm like, oh, whatever, daddy. But so that was, so he went to jail, but the guy didn't press charges or anything. So he didn't understand. But COVID hit, and I really didn't like that he was staying there during COVID because I, was nervous. Nobody knew what was what. And then we couldn't get in there. And I only could see my dad through the glass. But so the people there was, entertaining themselves. And so one guy there was running a bootleg. And I'm like, so they were saying that my dad was drinking too much. I'm like, well, they don't know if the end of the world, the apocalypse is happening. Because they were kind of like on lockdown. They was trying to keep, COVID from getting in there or whatever. But, the AIDS and who all worked there was bringing it in there. So one day I get a call from the guy who's running the place. And he just said, because my dad was falling all the time. I'm like, what? Falling down drunk? My dad goes, that was not me. He's talking about that was time to do whatever. So I'm like, because before, now I live in a 2-story home. So I told you my dad uses a cane. And at that time, I got him a walker when he got out. But when they lift up the what's called a moratorium on where they couldn't evict anyone, because you remember during COVID they couldn't evict nobody. So when they lifted that, they put him out, and they put him out, but that guy got fired. But they put him out, and he came to stay with me. He stayed with me for about a month because it was hard trying to find him an apartment. Nobody had no vacancies. And so when we found him one, because I was really wanting to find him something in like a senior community. Instead, he around in a community where, you got young, old, everybody. So when he was staying with me, he had to, maneuver going up and down my stairs. So he's crawling up the stairs and he's slide on his butt down because I don't allow you to smoke in my house. So, because one time he has spent the night with me before, and he had the attic fan on. And all of a sudden, I started smelling. What the world? Why am I smelling? No, you don't. That's my dad. He's still cool, but in Wendy Williams' case, to be locked down, and everyone in there is 70, 89, and they probably ain't old as she think they is. They probably really 60 some. You know how they age like mayonnaise, don't they? So you know how that is. So the more melanin, the better you age. So I should be looking 16 at 85. They quit, but they with her being in there locked down, not able to really communicate with the outside world. Even prisoners get a chance to be on iPads and stuff now. And some of them got cell phones, but she can't have any. I don't understand the logic in that. I don't understand it because I feel like they're taking her money. This is all about money. So supposedly, allegedly, I haven't looked it up, but this this all the talk, that Sabrina, the Guardian, donated to the judge's campaign and the judges awards her Wendy Williams. Sounds like, I'm not even gonna say this is a scheme Ty set up. So this is a bullshit here. So they asked Wendy Williams a couple of things. She says she feels like she's in prison and she's been emotionally abused. Wendy also states that she can't wait to get out and date. Because the kitty is purring. I said that, she didn't, but we know what that means. She can't wait to date. And she also says that even when she looks at herself in the mirror, said, honey, when she said, I'm hitting and holding. I said, go ahead, because you don't feel good about yourself, honey. Who is? And so she done sobered up. She done got her little, getting things back to order. And like you heard Harvey Levin say, he talked to her for an hour and a half. I've heard her on 3 different interviews. And I would say some things, like she say, you know what I'm saying? My mom say that. You know what I'm saying? I say some things repetitive. I noticed as I watch myself back on YouTube, I go, I'm like, that's when I start doing that. My uncle said, it's just me in your mind. You just thinking. That's old age. I can't get what I want to think real quickly. But, see, here you go, right there. She said that the extra with it, she want everybody to know. She said she wanted everybody to know that I need help in a good way. I'm ready to fight and win. So when she's talking about help, she needs help to get up out of this guardianship. How this happened to her? What scheme was this? I said, because I really almost feel like anybody better than Sabrina, the ex-husband, would have been better. Kevin could have been over there. I mean, he probably would have been, getting some of the money, but Wendy wouldn't be sitting up like this. Only thing I would say, maybe, this here, I hate that this happened, but maybe this had happened for her to, really sober up. But they act like she was on her way to sobriety when she was down in Miami before they made her come back to New York in her apartment. And to make her be, because I don't understand, when she wanted to go down to Miami for her son's graduation, they had to get a guardian for down there. So they can get a guardian for down there. Why can't she do a guardianship there where her family is? Since she has dementia. I mean, I act like she on house arrest or she done committed some crime. It don't make sense to me that she has to be detained somewhere. And that's what she's being detained. She don't want to be there. And her family member, I don't understand this. And the only reason why, because I bet you she had only $1 or $2 million in the bank, it wouldn't be no big deal because she got all those millions. And probably we don't know what her investment portfolio looks like. This is why. Because it's the guardianship. This thing's supposed to last until she passed. Because, they, remember she put out about a month ago that she was incapacitated. And next thing we see her down there in Florida. At first, they just put the still picture of her out at the graduation. And people was like, oh, she don't look like she's there. And then we got to seeing her moving around and stuff. She has Graves' disease. So we know her eyes bulges out and all that kind of stuff. But even if she's incapacitated, how can a stranger be better than your family who is willing to help you? And I don't understand. And it all boils down to money. And they don't want them blacks getting that money. They figure, oh, we can get that money from this black lady. And that's the way I feel about it. Because if Wendy Williams was a regular person, this wouldn't even be happening to her. It wouldn't be happening at all. She wouldn't, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If Wendy Williams had went out and smoked all her money up and didn't have nothing when she left the Wendy Williams show, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about her. We'd be talking about her like we talked about Whitney Houston. That's what we'd be talking about. And that's a shame. But this is, what is the purpose of having money if you can't do anything with it? What is the purpose? I would rather be like I am with my freedom than have millions of dollars and I can't go anywhere. Or I got to ask you. She been grown. Why am I asking? I'm like, and people who's in nursing homes, they have more rights than that. Your family is able to come and visit you. Now, I could see if she was being abused or something, so they might not want the abuser to know. But like I was saying, I had an aunt that was in a similar situation, and this happened during COVID too. And her grandson, she really didn't have nobody over her, but she had a stroke, so she went into the nursing home, and she was in a rehabilitation nursing home. Well, the grandson got mad because my other auntie didn't leave as much money as he thought at the front desk for him. So he got mad and took my aunt, and my aunt was game. She didn't want to be in the nursing home anyway, because she one of the ones like to be in the thick of things. Took her out of the nursing home and took her with him. Now, they always begging my aunt, for money, when it's time, when they get their money from the different pensions and stuff, the way her husband had her set up. He said her set up pretty decently. And so he took her out of the nursing home. She went to live with him. And the thing about it was, because that's the last time I actually seen her alive at the nursing home, because I remember I went there with my dad. And she was just there for rehabilitation. But he took her out. She went to stay with him. And he did what Sabrina did. Wouldn't let nobody talk to her. My one cousin's daughter, this was all of our aunt, went over there just to see. And then they called the police a couple of times because they wanted to They said, we don't know if she's dead or alive. Well, there was allegations that he was abusing her. You know, because she couldn't, he took her out so she didn't get complete rehabilitated. So her problem was ambulatory. So she wasn't incontinent, but if I can't get up and go to the bathroom, what's going to happen? I'm going to go to the bathroom with myself. So because she went to the bathroom with herself, he abused her. To the point that something happened, they had to take her to the hospital. They just dropped her off at the emergency room and left her. When she got to the emergency room, my aunt was never a big lady, okay? Hippie, short like me. But I would say, she wasn't that big as me. So maybe she's probably I don't know, 140 or something. So she's probably like 5'3", 140, somewhere in there, 150. I don't know. But, not big. But, she's an older lady. And probably at that time, she probably wasn't even that. Well, she got to the nursing. Before she got to the nursing home, she was in the at the hospital in the emergency room, and I guess people trying to figure out who the heck she was. They weighed her. She only weighed like 86 pounds. So at this point in time is where because COVID is going on. So she probably lasted like that for a couple months. I see who's coming through my side door. What time is it? She probably lasted like that for a couple months or so. And she ultimately died. And he ended up getting like something. She would have never wanted him to get in trouble because her kids and everybody was always spoiled. So she would have never wanted him to get in trouble. But I just can't imagine. I have a grandson who's 11. And I would break his legs right now if he tried to do something to me. I just don't believe in no kid trying to beat on, I done had to do everything with you when you was a baby. The hippie, don't no. As long as I still got my wits about myself, honey, you probably reading about me in the paper. It's not gonna be looking too good for him. But so I said all that to say, to have a person who has supposedly had dementia in a nursing home, locked away, and the family can't call them, didn't know where you had put her for a couple of months. She only has one kid. Like my daddy said, it's a bullshit mix. So I want to keep that hashtag out there. They're setting up a GoFundMe for Wendy for her attorney fees. And people probably say, because she got money. What good is money if you can't access it? So they're setting up, but maybe some of them rich stars will start filling that money up. Because I would expect they did it to her, they may do it to you. And especially living in New York, California, I don't know. I'm here in Indiana. I don't know what they might do, but I ain't got the kind of rich people problems though. But I just think that this is a terrible situation because her niece is I think works in broadcast, so I think she's a news anchor. Her sister, which is the niece's mom, the niece name is Alex, the sister name is Wanda, is an attorney. Unless she does family court or whatever. But also, because the girl that came from Breakfast Club trying to visit Wendy, because she came there, they felt like she was being penalized for her coming, and they said they took her cats and got rid of them. And also, her dad is going to be, Wendy Williams' father is turning 94 in February. And they told her she may not be able to go. Now, what kind of fuck shit is that? What the fuck I got to do? Sit up here? I got the money to go? People don't turn 94 every day. They may turn 30. You know, a lot of folks are dying for weird reasons now. But her dad, bless God, may see 94. And so they may be in jeopardy. So she's doing this media blitz and trying to get it out there. They want you to use the hashtags, but they also, I got to find the GoFundMe so people can, put $5 or whatever in anything to help. But I mean, this really has gotten me like, I don't understand it because like my mom gets Medicare supplement, my dad does too. And I never knew the insurance people want to be coming out to your house. And the one time, because my mom still works. She's she is a teacher, first grade teacher. And she told me they wanted to come out. I said, for what? I said, what's this when the insurance people for your medical need to come out and talk to you about what? And like they have like some kind of nurse person come. Because so when they had for my dad, I made sure I was there because I don't want the people coming right. My dad is there by himself, or either an aide or something. I try to make all his appointments when I'm there because I don't care if you do get to talking out the side of his head. Because my dad, they say it could be from his strokes. You talk to him long enough, because he's going to start repeating the same questions. But then, I think you do it out of boredom too, because you've been told him something about whatever. He going to remember that. He definitely going to remember about cigarettes, weed. He going to remember that. Now, he might forget where he didn't put his money at. That's why we don't never leave too much money with him. But for him to sit there and talk to the people, or my mom, because I told her, I said, because I don't know what their plans are, and we both say, I care. Your house is paid for. I don't know if that's a no. That's because I don't want them to try to say, oh, she's incapacitated. My mom worked a whole job teaching kids. So we have to be careful because people are always plotting. And, we've getting this Monday. Wreck-It Ralph back in office. So no telling how things gonna be changing then. But we want to make sure that we just be aware of when people are trying to take advantage of us. Because people think you got some money, they will do whatever they can do to get whatever they're trying to steal from you. So I say all that to say, free Wendy. And y'all check on your elderly and your family. And if you have any in a nursing home facility, check on them. Because they've been young ones too. You want to check on them, and let them know you care about them. Because see, when you don't check on these people, they do whatever they want to. And see, Wendy's getting that word out. So if her phone comes, because she's afraid that they may take her phone from her and she won't be able to talk to anyone. But Wendy, I'm going to say this, she still had her wits about herself. And I'm going to let you listen to what she had to say about Diddy. And I try not to cover too much Diddy news because it's depressing to me for real. It really is. The whole It's just depressing. I didn't like the Survivor R. Kelly. I'm like, oh God. This whole Diddy thing is just, because you don't know what's real and what's fake. And now you get people come out of the woodworks with lies. And, some people, we've seen what he did to Cassie. But to the tune of hundreds of people coming forward, I don't believe that. Especially the one that came up with I'm going to say it, the lie on him and Jay-Z. I don't believe that one at all. And from what we seen, she ain't proved herself to be credible. And they were taking pictures at different parties that night, Jay-Z and Diddy. I just don't believe that one at all. I mean, because it's so far-fetched that a 13-year-old would go somewhere so far away and that you would look up to get in the I can't even say the word. Get in the area where these people are and go to this party at a house, supposedly where there's no house at now, and get raped and run to a gas station, because this lets you know this person from a small town. Because a small town folks, there's gas stations not far away. So when that with the attorney for Jay-Z had it all figured out, she figured it was, a gas station on the street. Well, white girl, you're gonna see 13 years old, and then they're gonna let her sit at the gas station, whatever. I don't believe that one. So I don't know how many of them I think is credible. I don't believe that one at all. But here we're gonna let Miss Wendy talk on Diddy.
To see where Diddy currently is, what do you feel about that situation?
Right. Hey, when I watch TMZ and I see the stuff that goes on, I'm like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden I see me on TMZ. You know what I'm saying? It's really weird seeing me on TV when I'm caught in this position. You know what I'm saying? The other day I was watching Cookout, and there I am in the first opening scene. I was like, oh my God. Season 1, episode 13, there I am on Martin. You know what I'm saying? And as far as Diddy will go to prison for life, people. You don't know things that I do about Diddy back in the day, and you want to know what? It's about time, people. It is about time. Diddy done.
Wendy,
the queen has spoken. There you have it.
That's right. This is just the first step of many. Alex, love you.
Diddy done. She would be eating this up right now. I just hate to see the demise of anybody. That's just me personally. Whomever. Unless I know for sure they did it, so I would have to been there, been a fly on the wall or something. But I just hate to see it, unless we have evidence, for real evidence. Not people coming forward, they haven't had rape kit and this and that. Anybody can say, well, I was around them, or this did happen to me too. Well, who knows? But that's what she said. So she was around that era. She know. He had her fired. And then he's supposed to have told her going out there to beat her up at the radio station. She had that in her movie. But I wish Godspeed to Wendy. And I hope that people use the hashtag Free Wendy. We don't do nothing else. We can do that. We can do some hashtags. And hopefully she gets a chance to go home with her family. Because even though she was like she was, messy. But we was here for the mess. That's why most of the YouTube, this is what the YouTubers do. But most of us are talking about messy stuff. We got it from Wendy, the queen. So I wish her the best. Because, some people say, oh, this is just her karma. I'm like, what kind of karma is this? And I wouldn't wish this on anyone, because if it can happen to her, it can happen to anyone. So y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm going to go and retire to my room. No, I got to go and clean up downstairs first. Then retire to my room. But I thought I'd get in here and talk about it and get it off my chest. Because, I mean, it's really touching to me, because I'm like, I'm thinking about my parents, you know, could be in a, you know, a situation like that, because they're older than her. My mom is 69 and my dad is 72. Or even myself. If somebody deemed, because, you know, it makes you scared, because Wendy also had mentioned about she wanted to go to her old doctor for her thyroid, because, you know, they got her using the doctors that they want her to use. She's not using her doctors, because if she's using her doctors, the doctors won't let her be up in there. You see what I'm saying? So this scheme that they got going, they're not letting her see any outside doctors. She's seeing whoever that dang on Sabrina has her to see. But she wanted to go and see her old doctor about her thyroid. And she said, oh, you don't need to. The medicine that you got is doing wonders. How you know? You're just the guardian. You're not the doctor. So I think the only way that, I mean, if something was to happen now, maybe she had to go to the hospital or something. I don't know. I don't know. That way that she could get seen by someone else, you know. Because I just understand, because I remember when they first talked about when she went to Florida and she had to get back to New York. I'm not talking about, this is before her son graduated. This was a couple years ago. I think it was in 2021 or so, when her son had her down in Florida. She was doing pretty good. Well, she was down there in Florida getting together, but then they made her come back to New York, because they said if she didn't come back, they were going to say that she was kidnapped. So she doesn't have rights over her own personhood. And that's how that is going. So I'm wishing the best for her. I hope everything works out. Tell me what you think. And who y'all think getting the money? Because I sure think Sabrina, the judge, the lawyer. You didn't see the lawyer come out and say, well, don't let that fool you what you heard on the radio, because she still got dementia. It comes and goes. So it's going to just come. She's going to tell her, okay, we ain't going to have it today. We're going to have it tomorrow. It don't work that way. And you heard that Harvey Levin man said he talked to her for an hour and a half on the phone. And it's, you know, I know being by herself has to have, you know, a bad effect on her mental health anyways. Just anybody, you know, just a regular person, even if they're in solitary confinement in jail. Usually people flip out. We watched the movie Hurricane, didn't you? When they try to put that murder on that guy, the boxer. And they had him down there in the hole all the time. And he's about to lose his mind. I mean, I'm not saying that, yeah, she's basically in the hole because she don't want to be out there talking to them old people that's not there anymore. And she's not them. She can't even go outside as she pleases. That's craziness. That is craziness. I could not imagine, and I pray that it don't never happen to nobody I know. And hopefully the over 20,000 people that they have going through this in New York State, that they get this situation fixed, because this is ridiculous. And like I said, there are people who were stars before, but they was not famous or had money. Delonte West that played on, did he play on the Miami Heat? Is that who he played for? That was on the street. on the street. And what's the girl that used to be on, she might be doing better now, but was it Mia Campbell? Is that her name? The pretty girl that used to be on the Cool J show and was in all the videos. What's love? God, she was in that video, I believe. Pretty brown skinned girl with the long hair. Remember, she was strung out on crack. You've seen her looking crazy down there in Atlanta streets. She got no conservative. Delonte West ain't got no conservative. The reason why? They ain't got Wendy money. And that's how I'm going to end that. Pay attention to the money. You have a good night. Thank you for watching. Please, if you caught it at the end, please go back and see it from the beginning. And I thank you for your time. Y'all have a great weekend. And maybe tomorrow I might come on here and do the rest of the hot topics of what's going on. Y'all have a great day, a great night. Good night.